Welcome to CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch along with Quin Tran.
Schools are back in session with additional items on the school supply list this year. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. The Chickasaw Nation, along with emergency management teams with Pontotoc County, the city of Ada, and the state, helped distribute the PPE to schools in Chickasaw country. The items include thousands of cloth masks, gloves, gowns, and face shields used to prevent the spread of COVID-19. All of the PPE were distributed at no charge to 55 schools in the area.
More gratifying the next day when everything was passed out. It made it to the school, and the school that day passed it out. I know that the school that my kids go to, they had theirs when they came home, and they were wearing them the next day. It was something that I was proud to be a part of, and that the Chickasaw Nation could be a part of to help our community.
The drive-through distribution was held at the Agriplex. Organizers say besides this one, there were 10 other distribution sites across the state involving other emergency management teams.
In other news, the Chickasaw Nation continues to have COVID-19 test centers in place. The drive-through test centers are open Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. To make the testing process more efficient, pre-registration is recommended. That can be done by using a smartphone or computer prior to the visit. Find pre-registration information at covidtesting.chickasaw.net. Patients will receive registration confirmation through email or text message.
The Chickasaw Nation encourages citizens to participate in the 2020 census. Every 10 years, the United States counts everyone living in the country. This time around, people may fill out census information online. Census data helps determine federal funding distributed to communities.
Well, specifically for as a Chickasaw citizen, in 2010, we were undercounted at about 5%. Now, that's the largest undercount of any group. So it's really important that we encourage each other and those that we know to participate in the census. There's a lot of federal funding that's tied to census data. In fact, over $675 billion. It's roughly 325 federal programs, important ones too.
Programs include Medicare and Medicaid, student loans, and infrastructure projects. The census also determines the number of congressional seats each state has in the House of Representatives.
The Chickasaw Nation Department of Health is one of 50 Oklahoma hospitals and specialty units that have met a challenge. That challenge is to achieve a healthcare worker influenza vaccination rate of 96% or higher last flu season. The Oklahoma Hospital Association challenged healthcare organizations to encourage flu vaccines to protect employees and patients. Now for a different type of challenge. It involves strength, stamina, and speed.
We're talking about a popular television program called American Ninja Warrior. Akil Currie, a 21-year-old Chickasaw citizen, will be featured on the program next month. Here's more from our recent conversation with him. Akil, just for those who don't know the show by now, Ninja Warrior is an NBC production that brings together athletes and fitness competitors together who go through a series of obstacle courses. I'm going to get right to it and ask you, how challenging are these obstacle courses?
Okay, so it's way different than sitting on your couch and watching it at home, for one. It's the lights, the cameras, everything. You don't really consider that when you're watching behind the screen because you only see what the camera shows you. So you don't really see everything else. And just being on the obstacles itself, or just, the TV doesn't do it justice. It's really, really hard.
The show is coming up here September 7th. I know you can't share very much, but what can you tell us about that experience and the series of challenges that they threw at you?
Well, I can tell you this much right now. It's going to be a different, exciting season. This is different than how they ever did it any other season prior. So I'm very blessed to be picked for this season. This is my first debut. So it's like I got picked for like one of the rarest, coolest seasons ever. So I'm really excited. Just know it's going to be different. That's all I can say. It's going to be really different, but it's going to be awesome.
I know thousands, tens of thousands of people apply to compete in Ninja Warrior. How were you selected?
Well, first and foremost, I always loved the show. So I remember watching it whenever I was like in 7th grade. I'd come back home, I'd always put it on. I'd go to on demand and I click NBC and I go to American Ninja Warrior and I watch all the ones, just every single episode. I do that like for an hour a day at least. And so I always knew it was something I wanted to do. But I got picked because they liked my talent. They liked my story and everything like that. I wanted to bring up, very personal, things about my life that I can feel like, other people can relate to and also help people out there that may have watched. And and I also brought up my Chickasaw side. And they love that because they know that I explained to them that the Chickasaw Nation is a very loving, united community and everything like that. And I lost my father about 3 years ago in 2017 due to drugs. And I feel like a lot of people don't really like to talk about this kind of stuff. And I feel like for me, I'm very open with it as long as I know I can help other people out there, because I know there's a lot of people that were affected by the opioid pandemic and stuff like that was going on. And, it's a lonely place. So I feel like if people may be going through drug addiction or maybe growing up with parents that have had drug addiction, if they can see me, the Chickasaw Warrior on NBC and chasing his goals and, just reaching the stars and above, that, you don't have to fall into the stereotype of not doing anything. You can still keep going after your dreams, keep going after your goals. Because you look at me, for an example, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep your head up.
And your journey really started many years ago as a young kid.
Yes.
Tell us about your activities, participation in sports, and how that transformed you into wanting to be healthy and fit.
I was really big into football, and I played all the way up until my junior year of high school. And unfortunately, I had a really bad concussion from a head-to-head collision. And, I couldn't read for like a week after that. I had to get a CT scan, and I had a really big, brain injury. So the doctor recommended for me to stay out, of just sports in general, of contact sports. I knew that weight training could really help me out. So, good thing for me is I'm Chickasaw. So, I think that summer after my freshman year, I applied for the summer youth program, and I got started up at the Chickasaw Wellness Center in Ada, Oklahoma. And that's pretty much what started my fitness journey. And that's what really, I just love that environment. I feel like fitness can really bring people together. I just learned, showing up on time at an early age, hard work, and then, just choosing your passion at an early age. And that's what the Chickasaw Nation has allowed me to do. And I'm really appreciated for that. So my story is one thing, but the fact that I know I have Chickasaw blood and I got that Chickasaw Warrior inside of me, it gives me a whole nother level of confidence. And, I just feel like I can really display and I can back it up. It's in my blood. So I'm proud Chickasaw over here.
You are one of 4 boys in your family. Your mom is Akil Currie, a Chickasaw. How proud are they to see you participate in this?
Extremely proud. It was something that that they've watched me watch, for years. Like my mom, I drove her crazy watching Ninja Warrior. That's all I did was watch Ninja Warrior. And, I told her one day I'll be on that show, and it's just a blessing. And my little brothers, I got 3 other little brothers at home, and I got a really young one. He's 5 years old. His name's T'Chakpi, and he's all supportive for me. Like he'll draw pictures of me like he'll draw me as a superhero, and he'll put it up on the refrigerator and stuff. So I'm just really glad I could be on a platform like this. And he's gonna be really proud of me.
What did you have to do, and how many hours did you have to put into it to prepare for a competition like this?
Well, I've been training for 8 years, and that's powerlifting style. And they recently lowered the age limit to 19 for American Ninja Warriors. So at the time, I was 20 years old when I applied. So I was thinking I had to wait till I was 21. So, I wasn't even thinking about training for Ninja Warriors. So I really had like a year to train, and, I got everything together. I lost 30 pounds, because I was a big powerlifter. I was like 230 pounds before that. And, I'm down 200 pounds. I'm 200 pounds now. And it's really about like body weight. So, you have to be really lean and control your, your body and stuff like that really well. So I had about a solid year of training with some really special people, which you guys will see pretty soon. And I'm just looking forward to it.
Beyond just the physical fitness, is there some type of mental wellness involved in all of this?
Mental is 100%. I'll tell you that firsthand. But you guys will see that. It's mainly, there's physical and there's mental. It starts up here. So that applies with everything though. Like even if you're not even trying to be a ninja warrior, if you're in the gym, you know, it starts in your brain first, you know, and then there's discipline. When it comes to athletics, like it really starts up in your brain. So like I recommend like a lot of like meditation and stuff like that. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, you know, or take 5 minutes out your day and just stick to yourself, get some air, you know, maybe read or something like that. So it's really mental.
You're only 21, Akil, and you sound so mature. What are your goals in life and you know, plans for life?
I, you know, want to be based in fitness. So I'm currently working on getting my certification as a personal trainer through NASM. And, you know, I really want to help people get fit, you know. And like I said, like I'm just so blessed to have the Chickasaw Nation and then, you know, now being a part of NBC American Ninja Warrior, that's really going to help me, you know, really get out there and stuff. And my overall goal is to help people through fitness.
We're wishing him the best of luck. We'll be rooting for Akil. The program airs September 7th on NBC.
The upcoming production was taped in the St. Louis, Missouri area where Akil and his family now live. We spotlight now another inductee into this year's Chickasaw Hall of Fame. In this episode, we learn more about Tim Colbert's life and his service to his tribe.
Born April 9, 1950, in Oklahoma City to Chickasaw Hall of Fame inductee the Honorable George Dixie Colbert and Ruby Colbert, Tim Colbert was raised in Sulphur, Oklahoma, and graduated from Sulphur High School in 1968. He attended the University of Oklahoma and Oklahoma City University, earning his Juris Doctorate in 1976. Accepted into the Oklahoma Bar Association that same year, he also became a charter member of the Chickasaw Bar Association. Just 3 years later, Mr. Colbert was elected to the Chickasaw Tribal Council, District 5. In 1983, he was elected into the new Chickasaw Tribal Legislature. As a member of the legislature, he served on the Tribal Healthcare and Commerce Committees. He retired in 2019, a culmination of 40 years as a Chickasaw legislator.
Very proud and honored of the Chickasaw Nation, and he's honored to be a part of all members of the Chickasaw Nation, and he is a part of the history and tradition of all the members, of all the numerous people that have come and gone over the past 40 years. He has been there with them along the way, and he was on the first tribal legislature under the Constitution, and he was also on the last tribal council of the last Constitution, and that can never be repeated.
I think Tim Colbert has an incredible legacy. I think when people see Tim, they respect him. Obviously, his work on the bench as a district judge for many years. I think the broader community always respected Judge Colbert. I think the broader Chickasaw community very much respects him and appreciates, 40 years of public service. That's incredible. And, you got to get elected to have those 40 years. And I think when people see Tim Colbert, they see a man of stature and they see a person that they deeply respect.
Congratulations to Mr. Colbert. We'll feature another Hall of Fame inductee in the next episode of CNTV.
Thanks for spending time with us here on CNTV. We'll see you next time.